Good evening everybody, my name's James and you're watching Jimmy Does Code. So today's lesson is mainly going to be focused around just getting our machines set up in a state where they can run Java. You may already have this done on your machine, you may not need to do it, but I just thought if everybody starts in the same place and we all follow the same instructions, it'll make things a lot easier going forward. So that being said, before each lesson I'm going to pull up the aims and objectives just so we know what we're actually going to be getting out of this lesson and where we should start and where we should finish. So let's take a look at them. Okay, so aim 1, we've got to get the IDE and JDK installed. Now, if you don't know what an IDE is, don't worry, that's going to all be explained very shortly. It just stands for Integrated Development Environment, and it's just a text editor where we're going to write our code in. There's lots of different IDEs available: Eclipse, NetBeans, IntelliJ. We're going to use IntelliJ, but like I said, don't worry, we're going to walk through all of this together shortly. And the second aim is to simply print hello world. If you've worked in any other programming language before, I've guaranteed you've already done this. If you're new to programming, all we're going to be doing is printing the text hello world on the console. The main reason we're going to do this is because, most importantly, it's going to prove that all the setup we've done, all the installation, everything is just running as it should be. If we can see this text being printed, we know that A, we've managed to compile it, and B, we've managed to run it. So we're kind of in a good state then where we can just start really getting into the nuts and bolts and cracking on with it. Okay, so as I mentioned in the aims and objectives, the first thing we're going to do is download the IDE and the JDK. Now we're going to make things a little bit easier for ourselves because I don't know whether you're running Windows or whether you're running Linux or whether you're running Mac, and the installation for the JDK can be slightly different across each OS. So what we're going to do is we're going to download IntelliJ, which is the IDE, and then we're going to use the IDE to download the JDK. Now, that just means everyone's setup across all our different systems will be the same then, and we'll all be working in the same way, and things should hopefully, fingers crossed, all work. So, that being said, let's get into it. So, like I said, first thing we need to do is to download IntelliJ. And to do that, I'm just going to go to jetbrains.com/idea/download. I'll put the link in the description. I'm not a sadist and I don't expect you to copy it from a video. Now, depending on what OS you're running, you can end up in a different section. So the installation for IntelliJ is going to be slightly different if you're running Linux or Windows or Mac. So just follow the normal instructions for setting up software on your system. If it's Windows, it's probably going to be an exe file. If it's Mac, it's probably going to be is it DMG? In my case, it's Linux, so it's a tarball. Now, rather than making us all painfully sit there and watch it download, because I think it's about 800 megs, something like that, I've already done that. So I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and that is what I've downloaded there, the tar GZ. I'm not sure what that is, let's just get rid of that. I've extracted it. And the way I run IntelliJ is by going to this file here and clicking run. Cool. So you might have a license option to pop up saying to accept a license, just accept the license, read through it if you're that way inclined. But great, once you're at this screen, you should see the sort of IntelliJ boot screen. Let's just clear all the other stuff. And once we get to this screen, all I want to do is click new project. Let's give it a name. Let's just call it my sample app. It's going to install the project in the default location, which is my user directory /idea project. Save it wherever you like. If you're familiar with Git, feel free to create a Git repository. I'm not going to be focusing too much on Git in this course because this is a Java course. Maybe we'll do something on Git another time, but feel free to create a Git repository if you really want. I'm going to leave it unticked. We're going to be using Java. The build system will leave as IntelliJ for the time being, and the JDK. So I've already got 1.8 downloaded, so it's here. If you don't see 1.8, all you need to do is click download JDK and select the version, and the version we're going to start off with is 1.8. The main reason being is because 1.8 is probably the most commonly used Java version in production at the moment. Things are slowly migrating towards the other later versions. You can see how many there are now, but basically all the features we need will be in 1.8. We may change this at a later date to up it to something later if we want to use a feature that's in a newer version of Java, but for the time being, this is fine. So I'm actually going to click download. So I'm downloading the Amazon Corretto 1.8. Don't worry about what this number is. You're the 352. It could be something different for you. It'll be fine. And then IntelliJ will start downloading that, and we might have to wait a little bit while it downloads. There we go. It's not taking too long, to be honest. Downloading shared indexes, and it should be done once this finishes. Yeah, there we go. Cool. I'm going to add the sample code. That's basically going to write the hello world code for us, which is absolutely fine because, you know, we for the moment we just want to see something being printed on the console to prove everything is set up correctly, and then in the next lesson we'll start looking at what this code is actually doing. So I'm going to click create, and cool, there we go. I'm going to click this little plus icon just so it doesn't put the code on one line. When you first open a project in IntelliJ, it's going to do a bit of setting up, so it's doing some indexing here. Once that is finished, it shouldn't take long because we haven't done anything yet. Once that is finished, we should be able to run this application and see that hello world text. So it's almost done. Brilliant. And you'll know it's finished because you'll see these two little green arrows have popped up here. This is going to be the way we're going to be running our code. So it doesn't matter which one you click. I'm going to click this one, and I'm just going to go run main. And you can see it building, it's doing stuff, and brilliant. Hello world, we're now amazing Java developers, we can pack our bags, end of the course, we're done. Not quite. But the most important thing here is we've seen our hello world text, yeah? We've got text saying hello world. So we know Java's installed, Java's running, and we're in a pretty good place. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. There was one small thing which I forgot to mention when we were downloading IntelliJ. It doesn't matter which option you've picked, they're both going to be fine. There was two options, there's a Community Edition and the Ultimate Edition. The only difference between them is that the Community Edition is just focused on Java, whereas the Ultimate Edition has a 30-day trial and does other languages as well. I've downloaded the Community Edition because this course is just going to be focusing on Java, and I'd never expect you to have to pay any money to download software or to learn stuff. That's not going to be the focus here. That being said, if you'd like to like or subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. These videos take quite a bit of time to make, and if you can show any support like that, and it just motivates me to keep doing them. So that's it for now. Take care everyone, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.